Hello, this is Bunny Rabbit again, and I'm gonna continue with Raging Loop. The footprints continued into the field. The wet mud on the field was full of small, young, but healthy-looking rice plants. If you ignored the standing boulders in the area, the place looked like a normal farming village. I was both relieved and worried at the same time. From what I saw, there weren't any other buildings besides the ones in this settlement. Everything beyond was just mountains, meaning that this place was completely isolated, and I was a complete outsider. There was no way things would go well if I ran into a random local. I belatedly crouched to hide myself a bit. It was probably best for me to go back. Shiemi might have been looking for me. I don't know, man. Suddenly, I heard a sound. I looked for its source and found a speaker on a wooden utility pole in the middle of a small plaza. A morning broadcast? I'd never heard this tune before. It was cheerful at first, but had some parts that seemed really dark. I found it unsettling. Perplexed, I stopped walking, and what happened next made me hide myself. There was a person in the area, densely surrounded by houses, but they weren't normal. Ew, no. What was with that appearance? What was with that on her face? Though I was a fair distance away, I could see an old woman with some sort of cloth over her face shakily walk out from between the buildings. Oddly enough, there were boulders even there. But even weirder was the fact she walked up to one of them, lightly joined her hands, and bowed her head before it, her face still hidden. That better be no hidden god or something. Then all was silence. It actually looked like she was revering it. To me, it looked like she was praying to it. This was bad, really bad. I'd wandered into a settlement with a unique culture, to put it lightly. Forget causing trouble, an outsider like me could get killed here. I just turned around and ran for it. But when you run, people hear you more, no? I dashed up the hill, past the house, through the construction site, until I arrived back at the apartment building. Chiemi looked like a relatively reasonable person. Maybe she could tell me what was up? It just hit me that the way she described this place was somewhat weird. She basically said it wasn't normal.
あるいは、ちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で、僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
That's when you leave, dude.
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
No way. What if she was actually the bait they used to lure outsiders here? But he can't get out because he can't climb back up, right? Eventually the broadcast stopped. Chiemi still hadn't come out of her room. She didn't respond even when I knocked or called out to her. I didn't have to worry about this, right? That just made my inexplicable unease grow worse. Bro, I would be scared too, to be honest. Hold on, or what if instead of being scared, what if he had just asked, okay, what are you praying to? Teach me, so that, I don't know. What if this was a trap? Was I in a dangerous situation? I had to talk to her. If she was a normal person, anyway. Maybe my best option was to run away right now? I wouldn't know where to run. I couldn't remember the path we'd taken here, though I was pretty sure we'd went uphill, so maybe I had to go down? If I avoided the settlement and went back to the mountain stream, I could escape by following the wild roads. Boy, there ain't no wild roads outside. Y'all are in the middle of the woods. Anyways, that was my best option. even with the difficulties considered. Thankfully, I'd taken my bag with me. I took out a 5,000 yen note and put it in Chiami's newspaper box. It was payment for last night's beer. The moment I turned around to take my leave, the door to the room next to the staircase opened slightly with a creak. No mames. Okay. I saw an eye glaring at me through the gap. Her high-pitched scream pierced my eardrums. I screamed too. Scared shitless, I ran for it. Suddenly, I stepped onto the wet hallway floor at a bad angle. That's it. If the fall doesn't kill you, the girl will. I fell. Thud, thud, thud.
はるちゃんどうした？
ああ、誰このおっちゃん。
あなた誰ですか？っていうか大丈夫ですか？
Oh, thank God there was no lines ahead because I could have skipped that. Anyways, the reasonable sounding voice prompted me to shake off the pain and raise my head. There were two boys in formal-looking school uniforms.
大丈夫ですか？
He repeated the question.
ああ、ちょっと驚いただけで。
おっちゃん、ちえねえの友達？
Tiene?
ああ、ちえみちゃんのことか。
大学のお知り合いですか？お知り合いが来るなんて聞いてなかった。
いや、いろいろあって助けられたんだ。怪しいものじゃないんだ。怪しく見えるだろうけど。
Well, yeah, after you said that, you look even shadier, dude.
怪しいな、おっちゃん。
どうすればいいのかな。とりあえず、名前は房石春明と言います。
僕は織部安永です。こっちは鴨志田近持。
I like his voice.
モッチーだ。
Good to know. If I called him that, maybe he'd stop calling me old man. I was only 24.
それでこっちが。はるちゃん何してんの？
だって知らない人が。
Is that the old lady? Apparently, this Haru-chan was the person who'd looked at me through the gap in the door and screamed.
とりあえず大丈夫そうだから出ておいでよ。
A moment later, she slammed the door shut and after a few moments of hesitation, opened it again. Well, she looked like a student too, except her fashion sense was exceptionally flashy.
あなた誰ですか？
房石春明と言って、この近くでバイクで事故って、芹沢千恵美さんに助けられたんだ。
それってもしかして昨日の夜ちえねえの部屋に。
Yeah, it was to be expected that people would react like that, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
あ、うん。止めてもらった。
通りで騒がしかったと思った。何考えてるの？
Oh my
嫁入り前
God.
の女性の家に不潔。
I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing, man. Whatever.
ああ、うん。それはその通りで、僕もちょっと躊躇はしたんだけど、千恵美ちゃんが親切で。
ちえみちゃん？なれなれしい。それじゃあもしかしてちえねえが出てこないのって。
Girl, get your mind out the gutter.
ドアに5000円挟んであるじゃ。
Oh my gosh. That's even worse.
房石さんまさか。
You guys are all wrong,
違
okay?
う。単に昨日お酒をおごられたから、そのお返しで。
ちえねえの体が5000円ってそんな安いわけないでしょ。
Oh my god. Not only that, but like, now that you said you were drinking in there, I don't know, man.
ただれてるな。
The hell were these kids saying?
ああ、君、助けてくれないか？
Do you not see his face? He's against you too.
初対面で 女性の部屋でお酒を飲んだんですか？そして知恵姉は出てこない。
Oh my goodness. Crap. I had no allies here.
一体何事？
Ah, Timmy. Chewe, te tardaste mucho. And so the subject of the conversation joined in.
おお、ちえみちゃん、君からも事情を説明。
You think she remembers? Something was off about her aura. What happened to the lively girl she'd been yesterday? It's called the cruda.
知恵姉、まさか。
恥ずかしいとこを見られちゃった。
おお
Oh no.
いや、ちょっと待って、ちょっと。
もうお嫁行けない。
Stop fucking playing! Man, what a mess. Though Chiemi's face was all pale, she was actually grinning. She obviously had a bad hangover, but that didn't stop her from messing around. After calming everyone down, Chiemi explained what actually happened. How we met in the middle of the night, how she let me stay out of Goodwill, how we drank ourselves silly, and how nothing happened between us.
いやー、久々に深酒しちゃって思いっきり吐いちゃったよ。春明さん、お見苦しいとこ申し訳ない。
ああ、いや、それはいいんだけど。
That Haru-chan girl still looked at me funny.
非常識。
ああ、うん。申し訳ない。昨日は本当に疲労困憊でね。つい好意に甘えてしまったんだ。
まあ、知恵ねえだしな。雑把だよな。
事情も事情だし、年寄りたちも納得するかな。ちなみに、会ったのってどこです？
それはね。
下の方の河原だよ。
Dude, she was hesitant. My words made everyone change their expressions.
それは、ちょっと。
大騒ぎだ。2日連続で2人もだなんて。
What are you guys talking about?
もしかして、まずいこと言った？
Dude.
はあ、まあいずれバレることよ。さっきあれだけ大騒ぎしちゃったから休みず中に知れちゃったろうし。
君、2日連続で2人もって何のこと？
触らないで。汚い。
Oh my goodness. I mean, if he's a stranger, I'd understand, but I don't know, girl, that's a little rude. I wasn't trying to touch her, and I wasn't filthy. Sure, I hadn't had a bath in over a day, but still.
君、何が騒ぎになるの？
タエバあたりが拒否ってなる。
Why? Well, that sure sounded bad.
詳しい話を聞かせてくれない？
ちょっと説明は難しいんですけど、まあ、ここは田舎なんで、町といろいろ違うってことですよ。
What is that supposed to mean? You guys are so messed up. Y'all better tell him something. This guy here was Oribe-kun. Ignore Chiemi. And he was the easiest person to talk to.
どうすればいいかな？
まあちえみがなんとかしましょう。学生諸君はとりあえずご飯行かないと。
この混乱には乗るっきゃない。
乗るっきゃなくないもっち。とりあえず行っちゃいな。私らちょっと遅れていくから。
まあ、ちょっと時間ずらした方がいいよね。揉めそうだし。
さすがやすくん、察しがいいぞ。ごめんけど、二人のお守りよろしくね。
うん。
もう知恵ねえ。子供扱いはやめてよ。
Girl, I don't know.
そうだ。うんこしてやるぞ。
What?
ほらほら行くぞ、モッチーにはるちゃん。
And so the students walked off toward the stairs. It was kinda easy to tell what sort of relationship they had. Anyway.
彼らが、この建物の他の住人？
そういうこと。学生寮だからね、ここ。
A student dorm? In this Hicksville? Still, my senses had betrayed me. there actually were other people here.
ちなみに春明さん、他の人と出会ってトラブったりしてないよね。
あ、うん。一応それ警戒してたから。
ならよかった。よし、ちょっとしたら食堂に行きましょう。
Did he forget about the girl?
あ、朝食？
の、朝食は今から食べてください。食堂へは一応、面通しをしに行くの。
え、誰と？
よそ者が皿長からやってきたってことに、文句を言いそうな人たち。
Uh-oh. Oh, so like that type person, huh?
お世話になります。
いいってことです。その代わり、朝のことは秘密で。
Excuse me? Where is he gonna tell them that he slept? Is he just gonna be like, I slept behind the building or something? I don't know.
そりゃもちろん。ところで、皿長って何？あの河原？
そう。皿長の瀬っていう川だけど、あの辺まとめて皿長って呼ぶの。ちょっと曰くのある場所でね。
曰く？
うん。あの川は汚れていて、死人が帰ってくる、みたいな伝説がね。
Oh, what the heck? Oh, so that's why they reacted like that.
他にもその手のルールというか、しきたりみたいなのが？
I have a theory, man. What if he is all dead and this is all like a dream? I don't know, man. That would be crazy.
たくさんあります。なので基本、ちえみちゃんにお任せを。
Gladly, on all fronts.
ちなみに、身の危険とかは？
ないない。でも、いろいろ不愉快な思いをする前に、早く出ていけた方がいいかも。
Girl, that means something dangerous is gonna happen. What?
そのための根回しに行く、と。
そうそう。
The settlement I'd strayed to was a weird place, but at least the guide was reliable. And she wanted me to leave ASAP, huh? That was depressing. She only gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drinks in person though. Then we made our way to the dining hall.
この岩って何なの？
一応お守りみたいなもの？昔からあるよ。
よそでは見たことないよ。
ああ、言われたらそうかも。
She led me along a narrower path than I'd followed earlier. It didn't seem like any cars used this one. It was very farmy, I guess. This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. They were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days. Or were they? Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place.
あ、人だ。
He was working on the field.
たくみ兄ちゃんだ。おはよう。
Sherry waved her hand. The man responded, but then froze mid-wave.
じゃあ行きましょう。
いいの？多分あの人、僕の存在に驚いたんじゃ。
大丈夫。どうせ後で食堂に来るから、説明はその時にするってことで。
Well, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. This was the part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were more densely packed. I didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kind of weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows, in particular, were more or less overgrown, buried in tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village and someone told me it was abandoned, I'd have easily believed them. However, two of the buildings stood out. There was a hall right beyond the hill. It wasn't that big, but it looked grand and well maintained. The other building was obviously the dining hall. It looked a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside. From what I could tell, it was the most lively place in this poor excuse of a community. That's rude, boy. Suddenly, the 3 students walked out, chatting about something.
あ、知恵ね。と、夫妻子さん。
再度おはよう。ちょっと遅くない？
モッチーがバカなことばっか言って遅くなっちゃったんだもん。
そうだ、僕が悪だ。味噌汁をよこせ。
まあ早押しなら間に合うでしょう。みんなしっかり勉強しといで。
They have a school in the little community? Half dashing, the 3 ran up the path we came from.
みんな高校生なんだ。
そう。山をぐーっと登ったところに分校があるんだ。私も3年前まで通ってたな。
やたら不便だね。
それでもみんなあの寮に住める分優遇されてるんだけど。
Timmy was entirely straight-faced. There wasn't even a hint of a smile.
さあ、気合を入れて入りましょう。
そうしましょう。
気合入んない。
We left a little and passed the curtain.
いらっしゃい。あら。
The inside was as aged as the outside, but it looked well maintained.
ちえみちゃん、お客さん？
The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. There were 2 others beside her. One was a lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. The silhouette matched. The other was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. Though they were just sitting there, there was a menacing aura about them.
うん、紹介するね。夫妻子春明さん。昨日の晩、皿長で迷ってたのを、ちえみが保護しました。
Their reactions were powerful. Jesus Christ, what is going on? Like, are y'all gonna hunt him down or something? I don't know. The lady gasped, while the 2 elders rose to their feet with alarm. The tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak.
気にするのもわかるけど、これは単なる偶然です。あの子と違って、この人は素性が明らかだし、バイクで旧道に突っ込んで事故ったって非常に気の毒な事情もある。
Unlike that little girl, what?
そんなわけで、我々としてはこの人がちゃんと帰れるように手伝ってあげるのがいいとちえみは思います。どうですか、皆様方。
After saying that, Chiemi fell silent. The ball was in her court now.
まあ、それは大変。
The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the old people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders, in more ways than one.
ちいちゃんはなんで夜に皿長なんぞ言っとったかね。
虫の知らせかな。前の日にあんなことあったし、眠れなかったから。
Now this is some crazy stuff, man. That sounds... no. Okay, he might be dead.
そいじゃやっぱり読み人じゃないんかね。
やめ、タエバ。
That's rude, girl. You couldn't wait till we left this place. From the conversation, it was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She'd mentioned some little girl. Perhaps there was a child who'd wandered in here like I did? According to Chiemi, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Oh, so this time must have been the lady that Boyd mentioned. And the Yomibito must have been a term for the dead who come from there. Apparently, the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve helping me.
おい、どっから来た？
The old man's voice put my derailed mind back on track.
あ、はい、東京です。
いくつじゃ？
年は24です。
地位より上じゃが。
He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl.
申し遅れました。久石春明です。芹沢さんにも紹介された通り、バイクで事故って迷い込みました。
I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna play that last line.
申し遅れました。久石春明です。芹沢さんにも紹介された通り、バイクで事故って迷い込みました。
Okay guys, sorry about that. That was my timer. It's time to go. Thank you for watching. If you guys liked, please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, that's about it. Bye.